I'm doing good. Just a little tired, a little wired.
I feel you. I'm a little
But
tired
it's
too, dude.
Tuesday.
It is Tuesday, and as we've been trying to do, uh, it's supposed to be our stream night.
Yep.
So you know, it's supposed to be every Tuesday night, guys. It's supposed to be the night we're gonna try to stream this podcast of ours, and hopefully, it is going to continue to be that time. We're trying to shoot for like a 7 o'clock time. So obviously, if you're listening to this on a different time or different things, through watching us on YouTube on the replay, listen to us on the podcast. If you ever want to catch us live doing this podcast, it's going to be about 7ish on a Tuesday night. It's what we're shooting for. But with that, Kendall, how was your day? I know we were together yesterday talking.
So far so good. Pretty much just played Animal Crossing for since I woke up.
So
Then yeah, that's about
that's
it.
about you. That's about your
So
day.
for today, so far.
Well, that's not too bad. Well, we did a podcast yesterday. A different one, Cringe and Binge, if you guys ever want to look us up. It's a pretty good one. I think we're catching strides there. But yeah, so today I went to work in the morning.
Oh yeah, that was
Yeah,
a
that was pretty much it. Got off work, went to Target, tried to look for toilet paper and whatnot. Found six, one of those little 6-pack rolls of toilet paper. So I'm like, hey, we're getting better. Before, I would have never found it.
yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, so but other than that, just went to get a few little snacks and stuff. We don't really need too much. But I did pick up Animal Crossing while I was there.
Oh,
Obviously,
nice,
yeah.
nice.
Obviously, I did this trip while I was coming off of work to a place. There's a Target right by work. Picked it up real quick. Came home. You want to distance yourself socially right now. That's where we're at. But
Yep.
try to avoid most people, and did what I could do. But with that, let's jump into our news. Uh, Kendall, you like using the internet, right?
Oh, I love using the internet. I use it for everything. I use it for emails. I use it for YouTube and Netflix and Amazon Prime Video and Twitch.
What if we knocked you down to a lower quality? You like watching that crispy 4K? Not today, because that's what's going on. That's what's going on in Europe right now. They're knocking down their the bit rate. It's crazy. I would have never thought that we would have got to the point where like we were so many people were going to be using the internet at the same time that would happen.
Yeah, I know, right? But the funny thing is like a lot of people don't even realize, like, kind of how much data streaming itself uses.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I have like kind of a small inkling of it because, like, before when I am at work or whatever, and I
Yeah.
had the data capped USB Wi-Fi hotspot, the mobile hotspot, that you plugged in via USB,
Yeah.
and then you got internet that way. It was impossible to watch any kind of like streaming without like kind of like instantly going over the data cap on it.
Oh wow.
So I pretty much just kind of like stopped
Streaming
watching
stuff.
YouTube and Netflix and stuff like that until I got my unlimited data plan. So
Oh wow.
I definitely know like how much that, but I didn't realize how much exactly it took until I looked it up.
Yeah.
Apparently, standard definition, which is like 360p, 480p, right,
Right.
uses a gigabyte of data an hour,
Okay.
and HD video uses up to 3 gigabytes an hour,
Okay.
and we're talking like that's like 720p, 1080p.
Right. Right.
Like,
Right. Okay.
4K is considered ultra HD, so
that's what I'm saying. Where
so
we
that
at
would be
that
even
one?
more than that.
That's because that's the level we live in right now. 4K baby, all day, every day. HDR. We're got highest bandwidths that we need for that stuff. I mean, normally you wouldn't feel it, but in the times that we're in, where everybody's like quarantined out right now, it really becomes a big issue. Everybody's on the internet. Everybody's playing video games right now. Everybody's watching YouTube, Netflix, Amazon. You're on Twitch watching Twitch. I guess Mixer exists. I don't know what
Yep.
that is, but people watching that, and then you have people streaming on it also because you gotta, if you're watching it, if you're gonna consume that content, there has to be somebody also putting it out, right?
Yep.
So I mean, that's the crazy part, it's just you would have never thought, but that's where we're at.
Yeah, and it kind of sucks.
Yeah, man.
But with everyone on, it's like they should be fine. Maybe just dropping it down to like standard definition, especially like if you're watching it on like tablets or phones or whatever. Small screen. The picture doesn't exactly get distorted as much on a smaller display.
Right.
But it's like, if you have like literally an entire county watching like 4K videos of Netflix at the same time, it's just not gonna work.
I know it's wild to think because it's things that you don't always experience. I know there's some parts of the world that do have like big data caps and have stuff, but when you come from a place that maybe probably doesn't have it, it's wild to think. I mean, who knows? We could get there one day, the way things are looking, but so far we are not there.
Yep, so far we're good.
Yeah,
and hope it stays that way.
I hope so too. So, Kendall, anything exciting in the way of video game releases? Because I know you're real hot on that button right there.
Well, this past weekend there's been a few big releases. I mean, just a few.
Just a few.
Let's see. On Friday the 22nd.
Yes.
Or sorry, the 20th. My bad.
Right.
The 20th was Friday. We had Animal Crossing New Horizons for the Switch got released. Doom Eternal got released for PC, PS4, and Xbox One.
Okay.
And later, supposedly, is going to be coming to the Switch, like, much later. And yesterday? Yeah, yesterday. Legend of Heroes Trails of Cold Steel 3's PC port got released on Steam and GOG, and I believe a couple of other.
Now, have you picked that one up? Because I know you talked about Cold Steel.
Not yet, although I'm kind of on the fence of picking it up because the launch edition bundle comes with like a lot of free DLC and stuff for the first week, for the launch week.
Okay.
So $60 and you get like extra costumes, digital art book, soundtrack, stuff like that.
So that might be a thing to entice you to pick it up. Wow.
And then a new VR game, probably not what they were expecting, but Half-Life Alyx, the newest game in the Half-Life series, launched on VR yesterday with the Valve Index, HTC, and the Oculus Rift.
Oh, okay. So that's not something that you can play with your PlayStation VR then, right?
No, sadly not.
That sucks. Okay, now, you've played the Half-Life series, right?
Yep.
What do you think of the series as a whole, as itself, I guess?
Well, the whole series, as like story-wise, it has evolved over time, and the game has mostly stayed sort of the same, but in a way that it pushes technology and kind of innovates and helps like push for new technologies into game development. Like Half-Life was, a nice game. It had some other stuff to deal with. You start off as scientist Gordon Freeman in the Black Mesa complex, and during an experiment, something goes wrong, opens a portal to like some other dimension in the universe where aliens start coming through, and all hell breaks loose. And basically, you fight your way out of it, and then you fight your way to the only alien homeworld, and you kill the alien head honcho, and then get offered a job by some unknown employer who then puts you into a coma, which then leads to Half-Life 2. When he calls upon you again. This guy is known as the G-Man, who wears a business suit. If you pay attention, you can catch glimpses of him like throughout the game in certain areas, like on like catwalks, and just out of reach places that you can't get to go like see like get up close and personal with them, but
Mm-hmm.
you can see them far away in the distance all the time watching you.
Okay.
And then Half-Life 2, when it released, it had much better graphics.
Mm-hmm.
It had a much better engine running it. The physics engine was completely just insane. And ever since Half-Life 2, it's been like 10, 15 years since
Since
Half-Life
it's
2 Episode 2 came out.
okay.
And everyone was sitting here waiting for Half-Life 3 and blah, blah, blah.
So
And
this game
then,
that came out right now that's not a Half-Life 3, is it?
no.
Okay. Okay.
I believe the story is like a prequel.
To the
Because,
Half-Life series.
not to the Half-Life series, but at a certain point, I think it's before Gordon Freeman comes back
Mm-hmm.
because the G-Man hasn't actually called him back yet. Alex Vance, who is the daughter of one of the scientists that was in Black Mesa with Gordon Freeman
Mm-hmm.
and everything, supposedly you play as her, and it's a VR title, and apparently the immersion for it is just completely out of this world. It's absolutely amazing
Yeah.
how everything just works. The graphics are great. The controls are great. People have been able to play it for hours on end with no motion sickness and all sorts of stuff. So
That's cool.
apparently, it's really going to be bringing up the
VR level stuff.
yeah. It's going to be pushing the VR market a little bit harder and trying to get the developers to kind of like make better, more optimized experiences for it.
Well, that's a good thing, though. I mean, right? Sometimes, you need a game like this to kind of like kick everybody's butt and kind of like push them up to a new level, right? Like
Oh
every
yeah,
once in a while, you need a new game to push the boundaries and basically make that the new norm. So that way, somebody else can come and push it again, and then it just keeps getting better and the innovation, right?
yep.
But that's cool. Now, I gotta ask: is there a way for you to even check this game out? Like, do you know anybody that
I
has a VR
mean,
headset?
no.
No.
Well, the thing is it's not just needing the VR headset. It's like you kind of have to have like the space for it
Oh, it's one of those where you're like gonna have to walk around.
a little bit. Yeah, I mean, it
Oh,
uses a teleportation system,
right.
but at the same time, it's like you need place so because like you can like full on use the entire environment to your advantage. Like
Mm-hmm.
if say like there's a busted down car or whatever, you can actually open the car door and use that to hide behind, and
Oh, okay.
shoot
Yeah, like a
from
shield. Uh huh.
and stuff like that. You can throw things like that you find in the environment, like a rock or
Mm-hmm.
like hands and stuff like that. You could toss it, and it's just completely, fully interactive and everything.
That's wild. Well, I mean, that's. I know. I mean, if I was, it would be like what I feel like with this one's kind of like those when you're waiting for Kingdom Hearts 3, but you get like Kingdom Hearts Final 2.5 Final Mix, and then you get your other like 3DS games. It's not the main one. It's good. It brings the lore ahead, but it's not the one that you wanted, right?
Yeah.
And there's probably a lot of people. So, I mean, here's the thing: does this give you hope for Half-Life 3?
Honestly, at this point, I don't think I really kind of want a Half-Life 3 at this point.
Really?
Um, I mean, in some ways I do. I do want a Half-Life 3 just to kind of like finish the story and how everything, especially with the way Half-Life 2 Episode 2 ended
Yeah.
and everything. There's that whole mystery and how supposedly everything mixes, like, the game Portal, right?
Right.
The blue and orange portals, and you do all those different tests or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
that was a rival research group to Black Mesa called Aperture Science.
Mm.
And supposedly you hear something in the game in Half-Life 2 Episode 2 that is hidden in that lab that you have to go get. And
Okay.
then the game just kind of ends there.
Huh. Interesting. Well, I mean, see that's one thing about those games. Like if they leave things in open like that, like if they leave it open like that, if they leave it like it's just I don't know, man. I'd want a third one. I want it to end, but. Well, here's hoping that they do really well, which I probably assume they are, and people are gonna like it. But let's switch gears to Doom. What do you think of Doom? I know a lot of people are hyped. I've seen some of the little trailers and snippets for it. I'm kind of
Mm.
interested in maybe picking it up. It'll probably be the next game I get. Probably for maybe like PS4 or something like that. It's obviously the predominantly the system I play. So, what about you? What do you think of it?
Well, I absolutely love the Doom series.
Mm-hmm.
The first Doom I played was actually at a youth center in the computer room, and that was back when it was running off of floppy disks.
Jesus.
I forget which Doom edition it exactly was
Yeah.
and what the whole story was. I can't even remember what most of the enemies are, but
You do
Doom
remember
20,
playing
I do remember playing it, and Doom 2016 kind of like
rekindle your nostalgia for it?
it's just amazing. It's just pure carnage, just running around killing demons all nonstop.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing soundtrack behind it. Just keep pushing you through all these levels and all these demons and all the different enemies with different weapons. You got shotguns, you got machine guns, you've got rocket launchers, you've got grenade launchers, you've got
Yeah.
chainsaws. You have
Now I gotta ask: are you the same guy in all these games?
yes,
Oh, okay.
and he is Doom guy. And the funny thing is the lore behind it
Mm-hmm.
is before Doom 2016. What happened is he got tricked because the demons couldn't kill him. I like literally in one of the games you go to hell
Yeah.
and you kill everyone in hell.
Sounds like a top game.
So, but at one point I guess he got tricked and ambushed and sealed in a coffin because he could not be killed, and sealed in a coffin. And then eventually
He breaks free.
Doom 2016 somehow gets released from the coffin,
And he just
and
goes like
then
killing spree again.
pretty much
So this is like the demon's boogeyman kind of.
yeah.
All right, that sounds pretty cool. And so that kind of continues on into this. What is it? Doom Eternal? Is
Doom
that?
Eternal. Yep.
That's pretty cool. I didn't know they had that kind of lore. Uh, it looks interesting. I've always wanted to pick up the Doom games. They look fun. Now, does this have a multiplayer aspect to it also, or is it just all single player?
I know Doom 2016 had a multiplayer. I
That's
don't know
what I
if Doom
remember about
Eternal
that.
had a multiplayer.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I do
And
remember about that the 2016 Doom that they did have a multiplayer, and a lot of people were kind of playing it, and saying it was fun.
oh, yep. Doom Eternal does in fact have a
Mm-hmm.
multiplayer mode along with it. So
It seems like a lot of games ship out with that now. Ship out with a multiplayer aspect to it too, which is cool. I'm not hating on that. That's fun. It's always good to get down with a homie sometimes after you play the story mode.
yep.
We're talking about story modes and talking about playing and your solo adventures. Uh, so you picked up Animal Crossing, right?
Yep.
You told me what you've played them before. You kind of explained to me a little bit of it. I've seen so many people on Instagram playing, putting up pictures, doing stuff that I was like, fuck it, I want to play and I want to see what's up. I picked it up probably today. I want to say it was, let's say it was 1:30 when I got home. By the time everything was said and done, we started streaming at what 7:30 ish, maybe. I mean, I don't
Yeah.
know what you think. I played from 1:30 to 7:30, man. Couldn't put it down. Is what I'm saying.
So you were playing it for the past 6 hours, is what you're
Listen,
saying.
listen, and all I did was pick up a bunch of peaches because that's essentially what I got in my place. Built an axe, built a fishing pole, bug catching net. Uh, what else did I do? I was chopping wood. Uh, Paid off. I hustled to pay off that tent. Which I'm going to tell you right now. I feel like it's highway robbery that he doesn't explain ahead of time. Like, hey, before you come to this island, uh, you're gonna have to pay. So
Mm-hmm.
after I got all gypped, I hustled, paid it off, And then they proceed to be like, "Yo, how's your tent?" And I was like, "Nah, it's whatever's." He's like, "What about a house, dog?" And I was like, "Oh, like MTV Cribs?" And he was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "All right, let's do this." So as of right now, before I put it down, I got my zero interest free loan that he said to get my own house. I owe the
Mm-hmm.
motherfucker like $98,000 or something like that now, or whatever coin it is.
Yep. Bells.
Yeah, bells, and I'm hustling for that now.
Yep. There you go. Because you can't pay with miles anymore after that 10.
Nah, but it's cool because I got like I think I'm up like 20 or 30. Excuse me, 30,000 bells. So
Ah, almost there. Just another like 70,000. You'll be good.
only yeah, it's a
I
grind.
mean, I mean,
Now,
it's okay. I mean, there's plenty of different
now,
ways to make
now,
money.
now,
So
mind you, it's fun. Here's the thing I gotta ask: why do they give you a Switch?
I don't know, just room decoration.
Oh, okay. Because I don't know if you can play the Switch on the Switch.
No,
After,
you can't. You can't play the Switch. But
oh,
if you set it down in like your tent right now,
yeah.
and you walk up to it and you interact with it, it'll do like the Switch click thing, and then the
Oh,
screen will turn on and it'll say Nintendo Switch on it. It'll
that's
show the
sick. I
logo
didn't,
and the
I didn't,
Switch.
I didn't know that because I put it on top of a cardboard box.
Yeah, so if you walk over that cardboard box, press
Yeah.
the interact button,
All right.
it'll be like,
That's
you
pretty
know,
sick. All right, I'm done with that then. But yeah, so far, I mean, that's where I'm at now. I'm not hating on it. I'm just saying, like, damn, like I've been grinding away trying to hope that I get something cool. I don't see no people. Uh, I named my island Muchachos after those Muchachos Media, our company. I named it Muchachos Island, and I tried to put Freddy Flash, which is like what I put on most of my games. I
mm,
could not add the extra D because it didn't let me use all the letters. So I had to put Fred and then the Y, which I don't really like to do, and then Flash. So Freddy Flash, if you guys want to look me up, we'll probably put it up later on Instagram. Put a little codes. But anyways, that's my experience right now as a novice. And then the clothes are whack. I haven't been able to get new clothes. I did
oh
get
yeah,
I did get
that.
like my tulip bucket hat,
Mm-hmm.
but that's about it, man.
Yeah,
So
later on, there will be traveling merchants that will occasionally come to the island,
so
and
oh,
one of them sells rugs, another one sells
oh
clothes.
nice. So okay, so what's your experience as a veteran to Animal Crossing? What are you seeing looking at this game so far with what you've played? How many hours have you put in? You think?
I don't know.
Jesus Christ!
I've been playing it off and on since it released
Last.
Thursday 9 p.m.
Oh my God. Okay, so you have put in some time.
Oh yeah,
So where are you? So you're way ahead of where I'm at then.
yeah.
What do you think so far?
I think it so far it's great. It's a great single player
Mm-hmm.
experience. I've also played with multiple friends, and that's been fun.
Like you've been playing right
So
now with multiple friends
yeah,
on your island.
yeah.
So what's your island's name, if I may ask?
Terra Town.
Okay. Is there any significance behind it?
No.
Okay. So how many friends have you had come to your island at one time?
At one time, just one at a time.
Oh, you
But
can't have multiple friends.
no,
Like,
you can have
oh,
multiple people come to your island, but it's like it's just I've all played with them at all different times,
oh,
so it's
okay.
like I've only had one person over at a time instead of just like
Like
the other
a
three
big,
all at
yeah.
the same time.
Could you have
But
like, could you throw like a party? I don't know if that's possible. Like, is that a
it,
thing?
technically, yes, I think you're allowed to have up to 4 people visit
On
at a time.
so you plus four people,
Yeah, or let's see, how many?
or is it like a total of like you and three others?
Let's see. It might be you and three others because at least I remember that's how it was on the 3DS version.
Okay. You know, it'd be nice if you could fit like I don't know, like 10, 20 people. You know,
Hmm.
then make your own raves at the place.
Yeah.
You know, and then ask everybody nicely to clean up before they leave the island because you don't want them to trash it.
Why does no one
And
just say how many people?
oh, and then the one thing I don't like, I mean, and that's not bad. I'm just saying, like right now, I'm frustrated because I'm trying to grind with it. Is when you get those lesser, like fishing pole and the lesser, like kind of like crappier bug net, and then after you catch so many times they break, and I'm like in the middle of like trying to grind, and I'm like, damn it, I gotta go build another one. So then you see me run back to the tent, build another one, run right out, and keep catching bugs like crazy.
Yep.
And then I'm like, when are the new bugs gonna pop out? Because I keep getting the same bugs, and I want to offer them new bugs so I can get new stuff.
Well, it's based on like the seasons. It's based on the time of day. It's based on the weathers and stuff like that.
Well, that's cool that it's interactive. And then I can't like fast time like speed up time because it's day to day. So they told me like, oh, your house will be built tomorrow. I gotta wait till tomorrow. I'm kind of upset.
Yep.
Kind of wanted my house to be built, but I mean it's cool. I respect that. I can respect that fact. But so far, okay. So what do you have on your island right now?
Let's see. What do I have on my island right now?
Yeah.
Where did my phone go? I don't know.
Uh-oh.
What?
Yeah.
There it is.
We're getting that hype.
Okay. Anyway.
Yeah.
So, on my island, I have multiple trees of every fruit now.
Mm-hmm.
I just paid off the loan to add an extra room to my house. So that is... See, the first one's the tent, then it's the house, and then it's the enlarged house, and then it's house with the room. So I just paid off the third loan, and I'm about to get the fourth loan.
Damn!
So I can start paying that one off.
Why is this game gotta be like real life? You never done paying.
Nope. Gotta keep expanding.
Yeah, I guess so.
But let's see. I also have a shop built on my island, a bridge. I have had 3 other people move to my island and built their houses. A museum.
Now, does your island get any bigger, or it just stays that size?
No, it just stays that size.
Oh, okay.
So you have to start micromanaging everything.
Like who builds where and what goes on what?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So, but yeah, I've had quite a bit.
Now, have you gotten different like fruits and different stuff in your place?
Yep. Basically, there's different ways to get like extra fruit for your island. One way is by going to one of your friends' islands or whatever, and they started with a different fruit, so you guys exchange fruits. So now both of you guys have 2 fruits, and you can keep doing that with people who have different fruits, blah blah blah, and so on and so forth. Now, there's also another way to do it where using your miles and on the miles rewards program, if you go to that ATM, you can get the Nook Miles ticket. And when you take that ticket, you go over to the airport and then you use that ticket, and it takes you to a randomly generated island.
Oh, and you just snag everything you can.
And then you snag everything you can, and it'll be different stuff on the island. Like sometimes you can get a crap ton of your local fruit, so you'll get an island full of peaches, or you'll get a new fruit, like I got cherries and apples on one, and stuff like that, and then coconuts on another one, and so on and so forth, and bamboo shoots.
Damn. Now, do you get how you carry items? Is there a way to carry more items than what you got? Is that like another upgrade or no?
Yeah. You can buy an upgrade. I can't remember if it was through miles or using bells, but you can buy an inventory expansion.
Oh, okay, cool. Because I was wondering that.
It'll add an extra row, so you'll go from 2 to 3 rows. Cool. And so far, I haven't run into another one, so I don't know if there's going to be more expansion.
Have you found that you fill yours up right now a lot?
Oh yeah, I fill mine up all the time. What are you talking about?
Okay, that's what I was wondering. Because right now I was running into I filled mine up too quick, so then I'm going back to my place trying to drop stuff on the floor and trying to figure out what to do or selling stuff off. And I was just wondering if you end up getting more, if you can get more stuff more space. I mean, to carry more stuff.
Yeah. Well, your house storage increases every time you upgrade it, so you'll be able to store more stuff in your house, both on the actual floor plus put into storage. Like I think it starts at 50 and then increases by 50 every time you upgrade it, because I'm at 150 right now, storage spaces.
Damn, alright. That's cool. Alright, so far, in your opinion, what do you think the game? How do you rate it as of right now? Because I want to come back to this, because I know next week we'll probably be farther ahead in the game, both of us, and maybe have a different opinion on it. But
honestly, right now I would be giving it like a 9 out of 10. Of course, like some of the gripes would be, the time constraints or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
but that's kind of like the thing.
That's
with
part of the game. That's always part of the game. Now,
So
with you giving it a 9 out of 10, I think right now I'm going to give it probably like an 8 out of 10. Right? I'm barely starting. I want to be generous. I think my score's going to go up. It seems very, very fun, but I haven't experienced other friends yet. So, I'm kind of where I'm at. So I'll give it a generous 8. And we'll see where I go from there. But I still think it's going to, the way it looks, it plays really nice. It looks beautiful. All that stuff, I can give it a 10.
yeah,
But so far where I'm at, I don't want to. Well, you know what? Instead, let me not give it a score. Let me wait. But so far, like looks wise and all that other stuff, it plays very well. It feels very smooth. It doesn't feel it doesn't feel bad or anything like that. But I heard from you that they're reviewing it bad though, right?
there's quite a few people who are angry at the game and are now
Because
review bombing it because there's only per Switch console, no matter how many accounts you have on the Switch console and how many copies of the game, if y'all are using the same Switch, there's only one island per Switch.
okay, I can see why that could be annoying. I mean, I don't know why you would review bomb it though. Like that doesn't seem a justification for it. But I can see where it's annoying.
I mean,
If you want,
I can see both sides of the argument on this one. Like, because I don't know Nintendo's official reasoning because I haven't seen them make any statements on why there's only one island per Switch, and blah 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 and stuff like that. But it's like one of the main arguments, with it being only one island per Switch. It's like for single players, it's perfectly fine. Like for me and you, we own the islands. We make all the decisions on it. We do all the stuff. We see everything. We do everything. Blah blah blah. Now, if you have multiple people playing on the same island from the same Switch, like some people do, only like the head person sees everything and can interact with everything and make all this decisions. So, like all the extra players, like player 2,
just
player 3, player 4,
live on the island.
Are just kind of like there, like they can't contribute materials or whatever to like housing projects and stuff like that. They don't get the crafting recipes, for that stuff either. Only the main person does.
Okay, I could see why you'd be pissed if everybody bought their own game thinking that would solve the problem. I could see why you'd be pissed.
So apparently that's also part of the reason why they review bombed. Now, this is just speculation. This isn't official. I think one of the main reasons why Nintendo did do this decision
is to make everybody buy a Switch.
Well, that's what a lot of people are thinking. But honestly, what I think it is I just think they didn't want people to abuse, because every island starts off with a different fruit.
Yeah.
So I don't think they wanted everyone to just start, one person on one Switch, make, 6 different accounts for 6 different islands to get all the different fruits.
Yeah.
And then just transfer it over to the main island and then just leave the other 5 for dead.
Yeah. And then just basically say, whoops, I got everything I needed for myself.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's true. I mean, like I said, I can see both ways, but I still don't understand why review bombing the game. I mean, if you're just doing it out of spite, those are those things that don't make sense to me at all.
Yeah, it's just, kind of like a grab for attention, sort of.
I guess.
I mean, it's a way to show,
it is what it is. But
their dislike of something but I really don't think giving it zeros and everything is really going to change people's perception on it because this has been going on for so long, people review bombing things that it's even me personally, I just don't look at user scores anymore.
I know. That was the one thing that I used to like. The review bombing thing, like you just said, the review bombing thing bugs me because I did used to look at people's scores, like the actual, because the critics are critics. Like, no offense to anybody. I mean, you can see us as critics because we're talking about stuff or judging things. But some critics really have a bias towards certain games. Yeah. And you can see it when they're playing it. They're like, oh, I love RPGs, and you can kind of tell. Because anytime an RPG rolls up, they're like awesome. But anytime whatever, like a MMO or a battle royale comes out, it's always like meh, meh, and you can kind of tell where the thing's going. I'm not saying everybody's like that. Like, don't get me wrong, but I'm just saying sometimes you can see it. But I do like to see the score that the actual people that are playing the game, that bought the game, that are actually playing it, what score they give it.
Yeah.
Because there's also a little difference between they gave me a game for free than I spent my $60 hard-earned dollars on it. I better get $60 worth of this game.
Yeah.
But if people just review bomb things like left and right like that, when they get mad, it makes it kind of hard to look at the players' reviews and see them objectively.
Yeah. So if people were to sit there and give it like the game maybe like a 5 or a 4 or something like something kind of like low,
yeah,
and everything, people would probably take it more seriously.
Right. Like, I wouldn't give it.
Everyone just spamming zeros because I can't have more than one island on one Switch.
Like I could see him. Yeah, you're right. Hey, instead of giving him that 8 or that 9, give him a 6 or a 5 and say, hey, this is why. And then you put that comment in there, and then you can see what's going on.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it is what it is.
I know. It's always a sad thing. But let's get to the real news. PlayStation 5. The specs dropped. We got to see what it was. Kendall, what does it look like? What are we looking at on this PS5?
Well, on the PS5, quite honestly, from a technical standpoint, like for people that understand tech and know like how tech works and how pieces like of a computer work together and transfer data and all this other stuff or whatever, this thing is a fucking technical monster. Now, put it in the right developer's hands who can actually take advantage of the system or whatever, blah, blah, blah. This thing is going to pump out some amazing shit.
Okay. You are the first person, I'm going to be honest, that I hear say it like that. A lot of the people that I've heard, now I'm not saying that this is everybody, but the people that I've seen on YouTube are like shitting on this PS5, saying that the Xbox Series X, look at the teraflops, all these floppy flops. So much, like it's so much better than the PlayStation 5, and look at all this stuff, and the hard drives, and this and that, and they're like just kind of like shitting on it. Now,
I don't know why they're sitting there saying the Xbox Series X hard drives or anything. I was like, because one, it's fucking proprietary memory. People didn't like it when the Vita and the PSP had proprietary memory cards or whatever.
That's true.
And so why would you like it with the Xbox One? Or Xbox Series X, my bad. And not only that, the Xbox Series X SSD, I believe max speed is about 2.5 gigabytes per second.
Something like that, yeah.
PS5, 5.5 gigabytes a second.
I know, that shit is crazy fast. When I saw it, I was like, holy shit. And then you can, it's expandable storage with the NVMe, right?
Yep. But what a lot of people don't understand is that 5.5 gigabytes a second, that doesn't even exist in the PC games yet. You cannot get a 5.5 gigabyte NVMe M.2 SSD to run at that speed. It just doesn't exist.
Is it? But that's not an NVMe that they're running, right? Isn't it? Just
no, it is.
Oh, it is. Okay.
It's an M.2.
Oh, okay.
Now, what size is M.2? I don't know.
I think they said
you got 2280, 2260, and stuff like that. Basically,
now here's
which describes like the length of the card.
Here's the other thing. Everybody was saying that Xbox Series X is going to run with a 1 terabyte hard drive, right?
Yeah.
People are like, well, why is this running? What is it? 850 gigabyte or something like that?
825 gigabyte.
There you go, 825 gigabyte, and everybody's like, oh man, I can't believe it's running with that. Blah 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 blah. What do you think on that one?
Honestly, because if what they're saying is true about the speeds on it, games are going to be smaller anyway on the PS4.
You think so?
They're not going to be that big of an install size. Because with the way that the games were being
made for the PS4 and the others
installed before was, they didn't have SSDs. They had hard drives. And the way that hard drives works is they have a hard disk on it, and it has different sectors on the disc.
Mm-hmm.
And it has one needle that reads it, which is why, looking at the spec sheet, the PS4 had a read-write speed of 75 megabytes a second. We're jumping 75 megabytes a second to 5.5 gigabytes
Holy
a
shit.
fucking second in 7 years.
That's ridiculous, dude. I mean, in terms of speed, it's fucking fast. It's hella fast.
Okay, now think about it this way. Like Spider-Man. You've played Spider-Man, right?
Right. And the load time when you're in that little cinematics,
the subway thing or whatever, cinematics or whatever. Game designers have been working around it, by making duplicate assets to reduce the seek times so that way it could load it faster. So basically, like, say they
but that means more information that you have to have on this hard drive, right?
Exactly, which is what led to the bigger install.
Right.
But the thing is it could only upload like 75 megabytes a second, blah blah blah. And so to get all the stuff put in, looking as good as it did or whatever, they had to duplicate it multiple times.
Yeah.
So that way it would be found, it would be uploaded in the fastest possible way. And even then they still had to sit there and disguise the loading screens,
make it feel like it's part of it.
Like God of War or whatever, when you're following Atreus and, you have to walk slow behind them and you can't go past them and everything, that's an actual loading screen. It's loading the assets that are about to be coming up.
Oh, okay.
And these are tricks that developers have been using this whole time. And now with this new SSDs, they don't have to do that anymore. They don't have to make tons and tons of duplicate assets and put it on a disk to, be found quick and then load it up quick, because it could just, the new SSD will be able to do
I know.
it.
I heard about that they're having trouble now because there are no loading screen. It just goes boop.
Yep.
And some of those cool little cinematics that people are expecting don't need to be there anymore.
Nope.
So, I mean, it's innovation. It's cool to see that stuff. It's one of those things that when you hear people talk, sometimes you wonder, are they just talking to, for sensationalism, or are they actually looking at, kind of like pound for pound what's going on with each one? Now, is it that the Xbox Series X has a higher clock? No, is it PlayStation 5 has a higher clock speed on the CPU than the...
No. The Series X has both a higher clock on the CPU.
There you go.
And it has more compute units on its GPU.
There you go.
That's what it is.
Now, do you think that's going to have anything to affect anything like performance? I mean, like speed and things like that compared to the PS5?
I mean, it will probably be able to have a prettier picture.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's always important, right? But my whole thing is this. I've heard that people that are developers that are already designing games for the PS4 will easily be able to port that to the PS5, right?
That's what the hope is, yes.
That's what that's what I heard. Which I'm like, if you already have been developing for the PS4 for so long, couldn't you optimize it even better for the PS5? So where you don't need, we like what I'm saying, we won't need to be worrying about a lot of that extra stuff that we're worrying about it right now.
Yeah.
Because it's better optimized. Because see, what I find with Nintendo is this: Nintendo's games, even though they're running in 720 or things like that, they're optimized very, very well for these systems, and that's why they run so good.
Yep.
You don't have those issues on those systems.
Exactly.
And I mean, I don't hear anybody complain about Nintendo's games and how they play when it's the main titles, obviously,
Yeah.
Or something that Nintendo's work very closely together, but nobody ever complains about them. Everybody always says they're beautiful and they're wonderful, and we're looking at a 720 screen.
Mm-hmm.
And then docked, it's upscale 1080. I mean, we're not even looking at a full 4K or anything image like these guys are going to be looking at.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, if Nintendo can do that, if they're already running on the PS4, that means it's just going to be, if it's already optimized the same, they might be able to get an even better image, better thing coming out for the PS5. With less work is what I'm saying.
Well, yeah. I mean, also just look at it this way. Like, look how amazing Spider-Man looks,
Oh my
and
God,
God of War,
those two
and
games.
how FF7 remake is.
Horizon Zero Dawn. Can't forget about that one when it first came out.
Oh yeah.
That one
Now think
looked
about all that.
great.
That was on a system, according that was running 1.84 teraflops. Is the base PlayStation.
Okay.
It is now going to be 10.3 teraflops on the PS5, almost 10 times more powerful.
That's ridiculous. See, and that's the thing. Sometimes I feel like we get too stuck on the numbers and not look. It's like you said, Kendall. When you're building a PC, right? You know, you got to make sure that all the parts mesh well together, so there's nothing holding anything back, right?
Exactly.
Everything flows and moves super fast. Because if anything handicaps something else, that doesn't matter how many flops or how many compute units or what you got. You're gonna slow yourself down somewhere. But
Yeah, exactly.
if everything's optimized and working together great, you can be the fastest thing around.
And honestly, that's what I think the PS5 is going to be doing this generation. Now, granted, the Xbox Series X has a higher clock CPU.
Right.
It has a more powerful GPU because it has more compute units.
Right.
But what Sony is doing is they're making the whole system itself work better as a whole than it is specific parts. Like its SSD is over twice as fast as the Xbox Series X.
Yeah.
The clock speed on the GPU for the PS5 is at an astonishing 2 something gigahertz, which is fucking insane. My RTX 2080 Ti in my computer right now is clocked at 1800 boost.
Fuck. That's wild.
So
I know these guys. Yeah, I mean, I know. I would say don't sleep on it, man. Don't sleep on this PlayStation.
I mean, it's an amazing piece of hardware, but the thing is the problem is it could be the most amazing technological innovative piece of hardware ever, but it will amount to nothing if the developers won't be able to take advantage of that and create amazing games.
True that.
So
that's the biggest
Series X may be more powerful, but especially just looking at last generation, Sony had a lot of much better exclusives and a lot better games.
Oh hell yeah! Now, would you say that the Xbox was more powerful than the PS4 at the time, also, or no?
I believe the base Xbox and the base PS4 were about identical.
Okay.
And then the Xbox One X was more powerful than the PS4
Pro. That's what I thought, right?
So,
and the PS4 Pro still sold very well. Or I mean, well, PS4 in general sold well.
Yeah, I believe it was every 4 PlayStations sold, one was a PS4 Pro.
Damn, that's not bad. I mean, for because the thing people that couldn't afford the PS4 before, when the Pro came out, the PS4 probably went down in price, and a lot more people wanted to buy the PS4 than the PS4 Pro. I get that. Because when one's more affordable, you're going to go for the more affordable system when you don't have that kind of money and you just want to play the games. You're not really looking at how high quality it is compared to I just want to play it. And mind you, they're good quality games. They don't look bad at all anymore.
Yeah.
Nowadays, these systems are cranking out dope games.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I mean, okay. In your masterful opinion, we saw how this generation's consoles went, right?
Yep.
We're going to give it up to the PS4 because there's no way you can say Xbox killed, the PS4. The PS4 killed it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I got to say, I'm pretty impressed with the Switch and how well it did for coming in so late when everybody already had systems. But I mean, it's Nintendo, right? They always know how to do the handheld.
Yeah.
But still, they did very, very well, very, very fast. Now, we're coming up to the next cycle of consoles. Do you think this is going to be the time where Xbox actually outperforms PlayStation?
Well, Xbox already outperformed PlayStation in the 360 PS3 generation.
Okay.
So, but that was 2 generations ago.
Right.
Sony came back, last generation with the PS4
PS4.
beating out the Xbox
Right.
One. And now we are going into the PS5 versus Xbox One X.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, do you think that they're going to overtake him in this next one? Or do you
Well,
think it's going to go back to the Xbox?
honestly, it depends on how Sony ends up doing like the official reveal for the PS5 because we still don't have that. The specs that Mark Cerny, who is the lead system architect on the PlayStation, basically did that whole conference for. It was meant for GDC. It was meant for game developers to go and watch and see and kind of plan what they
because
wanted
I
to
was gonna
work on
say
and stuff like that.
it was a very dry. I mean, for us watching, it wasn't something super exciting that you're gonna be like, oh man, look at this. It was very technical. It told you what it had. It gave you all the specs. It wasn't something like.
It didn't show any games. It didn't show any demos. It didn't show anything like that. It was literally like a PowerPoint presentation.
Exactly.
Talking about all the specs and everything.
Yes.
Now, me being a tech guy,
obviously obviously the specs. Yeah, I watched it and I was excited when I heard a lot of this stuff. Obviously, for the podcast, one of us is going to give this the talking specs. The other one's going to ask the questions, but
yeah,
I was really excited when I heard a lot of it. It has the new technology, it has the new stuff that it needs to have. I feel that for a PlayStation, because I feel like it's a console. I feel like this PlayStation 5 is a console. Like that's what they were going for. I feel like the Xbox One X is trying to be a PC console kind of thing.
It could be. It could be a hybrid. We don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that that's exactly what it is, but I just got a feeling, I don't know, that maybe they're trying to differentiate themselves, maybe this console generation. But that's just my opinion, obviously. But it was really exciting. But you could tell, like, this wasn't meant for your average Joe to be like, this is a PS5, check it out, look what it does. This is more like, hey, like you said, the developers, hey, guys that are gonna make games for this system, this is what we're offering. Like, okay, because here's one thing. What about that? What is it? Real Sound, 3D sound, or whatever that they were doing.
Mm-hmm.
What gamer guy is going to be like? When he starts going into detail and explaining on how it works. The spatial, audio stuff. What regular Joe's going to be like? Oh yeah, that makes sense. Cool, I like that. All they want to hear is like, it's going to sound great, it's going to look great, it's going to play great, it's going to be fast, you're going to really like it. And then they show it to you. Because honestly, I got a feeling that sometimes people, looks-wise, can matter to some people. Like how it looks.
Definitely.
And I've been wondering, like, is it really going to be that, like, Coliseum V thing that we saw?
I mean, if it is, it isn't. Or, it don't matter. I mean, I'm pretty dead set on getting the PS5.
I am too. I'm not gonna lie. I've played the PS4. I'm invested. I'm really looking forward to the PS5. Here's the thing. Now, do you think they're still going to continue on with their exclusivity games?
I mean, they could. They might. They might do a whole thing where they open everything up. Who knows?
Yeah.
But for the most part, on consoles, exclusives are sellers. Like,
yeah.
Nintendo has Mario, it has Zelda, and everything. You don't see those on PC or Xbox or PS4 or anywhere else.
Exactly.
You can only get those experiences on Nintendo consoles and Nintendo handhelds.
It's like when the Switch came out and they came out with Breath of the Wild and Mario, what is it, the new Mario game. Everybody was like, yo, it's a Zelda machine or it's a Mario machine, That's what you got it. Now, there's other games, obviously, that you're going to play, but those titles do draw people. There are hardcore people that play the Zelda games, that play the Mario games, and that's what they want to play.
Yep.
And I respect that. It's just like wanting to play Kingdom Hearts. Yeah, the new Kingdom Hearts game came out on Xbox finally. But I know for the longest time, I knew if I wanted to play Kingdom Hearts, I'm going to play it on the PlayStation. And that was okay with me, because I owned a PlayStation.
Of course.
Right, but that's the thing. Exclusivity does move stuff. There was one game that Platinum Games was going to come out with about I forget what it was called, where you were going to get like a dragon or something like that.
Oh, Scalebound. And the one that was supposed to come down for Xbox, Scalebound.
Something like that. And they got. I kid you not, Kendall. I kid you not. I like Platinum games. I like the concept. I like the idea when I heard it. I was going to buy a fucking Xbox, and I swore I would never buy one. I was going to buy an Xbox for that single game.
Yeah, I was going to as well. So
Because I know, and we know it. Sometimes exclusive games, like you said, sell consoles, and that was gonna sell me a console. Not even gonna lie.
I know I was gonna get the Xbox One for that too,
Yeah,
but then they ended up
canceling it, and I was like,
everything.
I don't need an Xbox anymore.
Nope.
Yeah, I feel you because that's the same thing. I was like, oh, I guess no more Xbox.
Which is kind of sad because now I'm just sitting here thinking about how great that game could
It
have been.
Like, yes.
So I'm just like,
I know.
Whatever. Anyway.
But yeah, I mean, well, you guys, we've come to the end of our little discussion and news and topics. Like always, we want to thank you guys for coming and listening here on Twitch, watching this over on YouTube, going to the podcast on iTunes or Google Podcast, Spotify. You can find us all there. You can find our Instagram, Los Muchachos Media. You can find us on Twitter. And there, we're Los Muchachos Inc. We really appreciate you guys listening. And I'm Fred.
And I'm Kendall.
And we'll see you next time. Later.
All right, take it easy, guys.
Bye, buddy.